just hearing it read like that. It's so direct. You live by symbols. You have made up names for everything you see.
It points to something we do constantly, almost without thinking.
Your mind instantly slaps a label on it. Good, bad, boring, stressful, mine, not mine.
Think about just this morning. How many things have already been named, categorized? The coffee, the commute, the news.
And the lesson says this is how the world's perception is achieved, by carving things out, by seeing space between things.
Right. And we tend to think these names are just descriptors, neutral, but the Course argues they are anything but neutral.
They actively separate, they fragment what is actually whole, they reinforce this background hum of being apart, distinct. The ego needs parts. It thrives on the partial view, on separation. That's how it compares, how it judges, defines itself, defends itself.
If everything were truly seen as one, the whole ego structure wouldn't have anything to latch onto. It would dissolve.
And the truly mind-bending part is how the world equates this fragmented seeing with being sane.
Yes, certainty is prized. Knowing exactly what something is, pinning it down, rarely questioning if that label holds the whole truth.
But the Course flips that entirely. It suggests that certainty, the refusal to see beyond the label, is a kind of madness. It leaves no space for grace or for a deeper reality to show itself.
It really takes us back to the very beginning of the workbook, doesn't it? Like lesson 2. I have given everything I see all the meaning that it has for me.
That was such a gentle early nudge, just asking us to notice our own meaning making.
And now lesson 184 gives us the mechanism. How did we give everything meaning? Through naming, through these labels.
Like the early lessons were clearing the weeds, and this one reveals the actual bricks and mortar the ego used to build its world.
Right. So if you're ever feeling like you want to grasp these core ideas more deeply, looking back at lesson 9, I see nothing as it is now. Or lesson 10, my thoughts do not mean anything.
They really lay the groundwork. They show how we built this perception of separation, setting the stage for understanding just how pivotal this act of naming is. And it's not just abstract, it's incredibly personal.
Oh, completely. I had this experience just folding laundry the other day. I picked up an old t-shirt. It was a gift, actually, from someone. Well, the relationship became complicated, distant, unresolved.
Those objects can hold so much charge.
They really can. And my first thought was instant, a whole narrative. They let me down. I'm done with this. This is who they are. Just like that, a label, a whole story.
It's startling how fast the mind constructs those narratives.
It is. But then this lesson came to mind. I realized I was sticking labels onto feelings I didn't really want to sit with. So just for a moment, I tried to consciously let the label go.
And what happened?
The shirt just became a shirt. Fabric. And underneath the label, the memory of the love that was originally there that felt more real somehow, more accessible. It showed me how simple the shift can be sometimes.
That gentle kind of transformation.
Yeah.
It doesn't need a huge crisis. It happens in these small moments. I had one with, of all things, a wrong grocery delivery.
Oh, no. The classic trigger.
Exactly. My immediate reaction was the usual script, frustration. This whole day is ruined now, labeling the entire situation as a disaster.
We've all been right there.
But then I just paused.
Yeah.
And the thought came, what if this doesn't actually mean anything bad? What if it's just a mistake, an honest error? And honestly, I almost laughed. The whole charge just softened. It lost its power. The lesson talks about this world we construct as a kind of prison house.
Built by our own beliefs, held captive by the illusions we've made real through these names we cling to.
But the Holy Spirit isn't asking us to deny the forms, not pretend the shirt or the groceries aren't there.
No, not at all. Just asking us not to grant them ultimate reality, not to believe the label is the truth of what they are.
It's incredibly kind, really, meeting us right where we are, using the very symbols we've created.
To gently point us back towards what's actually real.
And that's where the quiet intervals the lesson recommends come in. Those pauses during the day.
They aren't about escaping the world, are they?
No. They're moments to consciously step out of the trance of believing the world's names and labels are the final word.
In those moments of quiet, we can start to hear, or remember maybe, our one name.
That unified identity.
And the lesson makes it clear it's not a literal word we need to find.
Right. It's the memory of our shared source, our shared identity. It connects back to lessons like, my mind is part of God's. I am very holy.
And this one name, this memory, it doesn't demand our belief. It just asks for our willingness.
The willingness to maybe loosen our grip on all the little names, the ones we give ourselves, others, situations, the world.
And when we do that, even for an instant,
The separations just lose their grip. They seem less solid, less powerful. They start to fade.
which explains why the lesson ends on such a note of profound gratitude. I thank you that I was mistaken.
That's such a liberating thought. It's not, oh no, I got it wrong. It's, thank God I don't have to defend that perception anymore.
I can be wrong about separation, and that realization is salvation. That opens the door to love. It's powerful.
Truly.
We actually received a question from a listener that brings this lesson right into a very real, practical situation.
Okay.
Our listener writes, I feel caught between two family members. Years ago, person A hurt person B emotionally and materially. Person A has apologized. Person B holds on to resentment, won't discuss it directly, but both come to me separately, each feeling victimized by the other. I love them both. How can the Course help me navigate this?
Thank you for sharing that. That kind of dynamic, it really pulls at your heart, doesn't it? When you care about everyone involved.
Deeply. And the Course's approach here isn't about becoming the judge or the fixer. It never asks us to take sides or manage someone else's healing journey.
No. What it does ask is that we look gently but honestly at our own perceptions. Who have I, in my mind, named the victim?
Or the perpetrator. Or the unreasonable one. The one who needs to change.
And crucially, what role have I named myself? The one stuck in the middle, the peacekeeper, the responsible one.
And this is where Lesson 184 becomes so practical. It helps us see these roles, these names we assign aren't just descriptions, they're like identity traps.
Yeah, they make the conflict seem fixed, set in stone, like this is just how things are.
But the lesson offers this incredible reassurance. You can look beyond those names. You don't actually have to carry the burden of deciding who's right, who's wrong, or how to fix it.
Because that burden, that role, it's not your inheritance.
Exactly. The name of God is your inheritance. What does that mean here? It means your truth, your reality, isn't defined by their conflict or their expectations of you or by past events.
Your identity is already whole, already peaceful, regardless of the drama playing out.
And here's the challenging but essential part. So is theirs. Underneath the roles they're playing, underneath the pain.
That's the core of the healing path here. It doesn't deny the hurt. It doesn't pretend things didn't happen.
No, it trusts that beneath every single grievance, every story of victimhood or blame, there remains one shared name, one shared identity, a light that hasn't been touched by any of it.
So when each person comes to you, sharing their pain, their story, their frustration, your practice isn't necessarily to offer solutions or analysis.
The compassion is key, of course, but the inner practice is to silently hold this affirmation. This story, this pain, this is not ultimately who you are. The name of God is your inheritance.
That's silent witnessing. It's incredibly powerful. You're not adding fuel to the fire by agreeing with the roles.
Nor are you invalidating their feelings by arguing against them. You're just holding a different kind of space, a space where the truth of who they are can be quietly remembered.
Even if they aren't ready to see it themselves yet.
And what about the guilt? That often comes up, feeling responsible, feeling you should be able to fix it.
The lesson offers such a beautiful release for that too, that final prayer. I thank you that I was mistaken. You can silently affirm that. I was mistaken. I am not the fixer here. I am not the judge. I am yours.
It's important to add, this doesn't mean tolerating abuse or staying in conversations that constantly drain your peace. Setting boundaries is perfectly aligned with the Course.
Absolutely. It's not about martyrdom. It's about not making an idol out of the resentment, whether it's yours or someone else's you feel caught up in.
This lesson gives you, the listener caught in the middle, a different name to rest in, your own true name beyond the drama.
And resting there is actually how you show up most lovingly. Not by trying to solve their conflict, but by remembering the truth for everyone involved.
So for our listener, and anyone maybe facing something similar, let's walk through a few practical ways to apply this.
Okay, step 1. When you feel pulled into the drama, notice the roles your mind is assigning to them, to yourself. Pause.
And gently affirm, I have come up with these names. They are not the name God gave. Just acknowledge your own naming process.
Step 2. Quietly claim your own inheritance. Remind yourself, I am not this role I feel trapped in. I share the name of God. Feel for any sense of softening or release.
Step 3. As others are speaking, their pain or grievances, silently offer them their inheritance. Hold it inwardly. The name of God is your inheritance, not this story of hurt.
Step 4. If your mind starts replaying the arguments or trying to figure it all out later, gently resist the urge to rename everyone and everything all over again.
You could simply tell your mind, I will not rename what God has already named whole.
And step 5, really let their healing be theirs. You are not the mediator sent to fix this. You are the quiet center.
Your role is remembering there's one name, one shared reality, and I trust that more than I trust these appearances of conflict.
To the listener, you weren't sent to referee this pain. You were sent to quietly hold the truth. That shift in your perception, even if silent, that's the miracle.
Let's just take a breath with that.
It's a lot to take in, but so freeing when you grasp it. We've revisited how our labels literally shape our world.
Yeah, how naming separates what was never actually divided, creates the illusion of fragmentation.
The ego calls this normal seeing. The Course calls it a kind of forgetfulness.
And in that forgetting, we inherit confusion, conflict, fear, instead of the peace that is our true inheritance.
But God offers a different inheritance entirely. One shared name, one identity, untouched by any label we could ever put on it.
And the Holy Spirit uses our own symbols, our own world, not to keep us trapped, but as pointers, gently guiding us back home to that recognition.
As we get more willing to just loosen our grip on the little names, the labels for ourselves and others.
A different way of seeing becomes possible, a blessed vision, replacing the world's partial, fragmented view.
And that moment of realizing, oh, I was mistaken about all that separation. It's not failure.
It's salvation. It's the door opening to love. It's incredibly hopeful.
So, maybe a simple practice for today. When you notice your mind automatically labeling someone, friend, stranger, politician, family member, just pause for a second.
And silently, gently offer this thought. I've named you, but not as God named you. The name of God is your inheritance.
You don't have to force it or even fully believe it right away, just the willingness to pause.
Let that tiny space of stillness open the door. That's where the truth waits.
That pause is the practice. That's the shift. That's how we start to remember.
Thank you all for being here with us today for exploring this.
It's always a gift to share this space. We'll be back tomorrow with Lesson 185.